In what must rank among the most bizarre, and frankly, eyebrow-raising, headlines of the year, news broke that the car of singer d4vd was discovered with a decomposing body. Yes, you read that correctly. No, this is not a surreal prank. And yes, let's all take a moment to just breathe. Now, before we spiral into pure horror, let's inject a smidgen of levity, because, well, what's journalism without a dash of absurdity? So buckle up, pun absolutely intended. This is the story of how a routine vehicle check turned into a morbid mystery, how one of the internet's most enigmatic artists found themselves at the center of a headline that's simultaneously shocking, grotesque, and, if we're being honest, curiously mesmerizing. The discovery. It all started with a car. A car that, to bystanders, probably looked as normal as any other four-wheeled friend. Until local authorities decided to peek inside. And boy, were they in for the surprise of their professional lives. A body, decomposing, silent, undeniably there. Let's pause. Imagine being the officer who first stepped close enough to notice something, or should we say, someone, was not quite alive. Smells like something died in here. Just another Monday, right? The kind of Monday that makes you question your life choices. Reports say the vehicle was parked in a quiet neighborhood. No dramatic loops in the road, no high-speed chases, no Hollywood explosions. Just a parked car and an undeclared passenger. Cue the ominous music. d4vd, or David, if we're being formal, released a statement that was, shall we say, refreshingly frank. He expressed genuine shock. He emphasized his cooperation with the investigation. And, in a turn that only d4vd could make feel somewhat charming, he noted that his car is usually just a vessel for music, not mysteries. We're not crying, you are. Who is d4vd? For the uninitiated, d4vd is that internet-era sensation. A singer whose tracks blend haunting vocals with minimalist indie pop production. He built a cult following through platforms like TikTok and SoundCloud, mesmerizing listeners with both his voice and his aesthetic. He's part John Bellion, part spooky Instagram filter, with a dash of meme culture. A perfect recipe for a maddeningly catchy hit, right? So it added a perverse twist of irony to discover something so decidedly unmusical in his possession. Because if his signature sound is ghostly whispers and introspective beats, finding an actual corpse in his car? That's like buying gummy bears and finding dental appliances. It doesn't compute. The investigation. Authorities have assured everyone that, at the time of writing, there is no suggestion that d4vd himself had anything to do with the body's presence. No true crime narrative here, yet. Just a case of tragic timing, unfortunate circumstance, and one seriously confusing chain of custody. Police are canvassing neighborhoods, reviewing footage, checking for suspicious activity. Neighbors are rechecking their own house keys, questioning whether that weird smell they noticed last week was really something else. In other words, community paranoia is at an all-time high. I mean, when your local neighborhood watch group suddenly converts into a part-time detective squad, you know you've popped a lid on something unexpected. Speculation abounds. Was the car used as a temporary storage spot by some nefarious third party? Did someone dump the body there hoping it'd blend in with the commuter traffic? Or is this just the weird, unexplainable hiccup that'll live forever in conspiracy forums? Your guess is as good as anyone's. d4vd's response, in detail, since we all need a scoop. In a video statement posted to his social media, d4vd looked every kind of confused. He read the room, no doubt asking, did I park my own body by accident? He assured fans, I'm not in trouble, but my car kind of is. And he joked that he hoped this incident would not become his next album concept, mostly because, he said, "That's one lyric I can't bring myself to sing. It's just the worst gig ever," he quipped. And can we talk about the surreal contrast here? A lyricist who can spin heartbreak into art, now confronted with real-life horror in the least poetic place, a car interior. Fans, bless them, flooded social media with memes. One popular tweet: "D4vd's car got more drama than my love life." Another: "When your Uber smells like death but you still rate it 4 stars because the vibes were there." At some point in the chaos, a fan joked, "This is the crossover episode we didn't ask for: celebrity, true crime, and accidental corpse." If nothing else, the internet stays unflinchingly creative. Broader reflections, because let's go deep now. Isn't it weird how a decomposing body in a car can become a grim punchline, a source of shock, and a moment of collective surreal humor all at once? Our online culture thrives on the bizarre, after all. We're conditioned to scan headlines, then shrug and meme our way through existential dread. This incident, equal parts horror and dark comedy, illustrates something essential about how we process modern news. One day we're listening to chill lo-fi beats, the next, we're joking about discovering cadavers in storage compartments. It's morbid, yes. But it's also human. Humor helps us cope. Especially when reality refuses to be polite. What happens next? Law enforcement promises transparency. They're investigating the origin of the body, seeking identification, and, fingers crossed, trying to restore normalcy to D4vd's 4-wheeled companion. Meanwhile, D4vd's fans are holding vigil for his reputation, and maybe hoping this all turns into a surreal but harmless anecdote. Could this become part of his artistic mythos? Will there one day be a song titled, "Passenger, Don't Leave Me in the Wheels," or, "A Corpse in My Coupe"? He's been cryptically referencing being haunted in lyrics before. Coincidence? Or karmic irony? Regardless, for now, D4vd remains uncharged, unscathed, and, ironically, all the more talked about. His music streams may spike. Media outlets are drafting ever more colorful headlines. And somewhere, a former neighborhood watch volunteer is expired looking at their front stoop, checking locks with renewed fervor. The takeaway. Let's be real, this was not the PR moment anyone wanted. But D4vd handled it with grace, or at least, with the kind of wry humor that keeps a fandom engaged rather than horrified for the long haul. He didn't try to ghost the press. He didn't release a cryptic EP titled, "I Saw a Body in the Backseat." Yet. Instead, he leaned into the absurdity. A decomposing body in my car. Can't say that's in the lyric book. But wow. So what can we conclude from this wildly surreal headline turned mini-drama? Life surprises you. Sometimes it does so in a deeply unfortunate way. Art and reality have wild collisions. D4vd found himself living a headline that not even the most avant-garde hipster songwriter could dream up. Humor can be healing. In the face of decay, we meme. Trust nobody, check your rides. Maybe do a quick sweep before you hop in. No offense to Uber drivers, but we're cautious now. So here we are. A headline that reads like the payload of a horror movie, but reported with a smirk, delivered with flair, and lived by a soundtrack making Maverick who, thankfully, wasn't the culprit. If nothing else, consider this. Sometimes the world gives you the most awful props, and all you can do is acknowledge them with a nervous laugh. In closing, a short, snappy lyric of solidarity. I parked my hopes in a ride, but the corpse came along for the drive. Can't write that in my verse. But man, life's unpredictable, rehearsed or not. Stay safe, check your backseats, and may your headlines be less head-exploding than this one. Over and out.